Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's actually an absolute disgrace because it just goes to show you that there seems to be a big disconnect between what government thinks and the implementation of these things, especially how it affects ordinary citizens and civil society. And even with Minister Balula's address or press release or press campaign yesterday, he said that he is engaging with civil society, but we can tell you now he's not. I mean, we've seen so many letters to the minister calling for engagement on these various issues, driver's licenses, the RTMC fees, the driver's license card account, the extension that we proposed from 5 to 10 years of the driver's license card validity, all these things, RTIA issues with R2. We've really called for numerous times for engagement with the minister, and it's as if he's not responding to our requests. And at the end of the day, that is very unfortunate because government needs to start taking hands with civil society, who, in actual fact, are the voice of the people, to understand the implications of it. Doesn't help you sit in your ivory tower, think this is a great idea, but at the end of the day, can't implement it, as we saw with e-tolls, which is an absolute disaster. So I think at the end of the day, if government is really serious about transforming the transport sector and all these issues, or to resolve these issues, engagement with civil society and public participation is an absolute must, and not just a tick box exercise to say, yes, we did consult with people, but not take into account what they actually commented on or the inputs they provided.
Yes, and also I think together with the engagement that you speak about, also, paying a high price for inefficiencies, because we know that they've been very inefficient. Just looking at the defective printing machine with regard to license cards, we know that there's been a huge backlog. So it is riddled with inefficiencies, but coming at a very, very high cost, Andrea.
Yeah, no, unfortunately that is the truth, but also we see a lack of consequence management. I mean, at the end of the day, in any, let's say, private entity, if you have an employee that's not performing as they should perform, you consequence manage them. I mean, you discipline them, but that's not happening in terms of governmental institutions or SOEs. And unfortunately, this is the result, where government is so out of touch with what is going on the ground because their own house is not in order. And we are just saying, engage with civil society, because yes, we don't have all the answers, but we can contribute to find solutions that would best serve government and ordinary citizens. And that's where this engagement should be going. But from our perspective, we're just saying that, yes, we don't have a magic wand that we can just wave and fix these issues. But, we will not stop trying to do this on behalf of ordinary citizens.
Yes, and I noticed you said earlier on with regard to 10 years as far as the driver's license renewal period is concerned, and it is not yourself that OUTA that is saying this. We've seen the AA also come out making a similar request as well. And obviously the wisdom of having the license renewed every 5 years clearly is highly questionable, Andrea.
Yeah, you see what we found, because we conducted quite comprehensive research before we compiled this position and proposed it to the Minister of the Extension. And what we did find, number one, is that if you look at international best practices and what is going on in the rest of the world, majority of the countries, and not just European countries, but African countries, have actually moved away from this. So the majority of the extension period is either between 7 and 10 years and not 5 years anymore. That's the one thing. And then the second thing is we actually found a government gazette that was gazetted in 2013 extending this period from 5 to 10 years. But a year after that, it was retracted and the 5-year period was instituted again. So it's not a costly way to effect this change. By law, it's not legislation that needs to change. It's literally the minister just signing a government gazette, just regulating or publish it in the government gazette, signing it into law, and then it will be effective. And we believe that if we move away from a 5-year period and extend it to 10-year periods, it will afford government sufficient time to look at these processes. How can they streamline these processes and to alleviate some of the burden that was caused by COVID with the backlog of the renewal of driver's licenses. Now, how that system work and the administration part of it, I mean, we will cross that bridge when we get there. But surely the suggestion is just look at this. We already conducted research. We provided the minister with the research. We asked for engagement, and yet nothing. So we honestly believe it's an easy, simple, and a non-costly solution for the interim and for the long term.
Yes, and just finally, Andrea, are you going to make any further submissions to the government?
Well, in terms of these RTMC fees, unfortunately, we cannot make further submissions on this because these fees have been published. So what we are doing within the context of this project, we are looking at our legal options in order to get a legal opinion on whether or not ARTA will be in a position, or can we actually take this decision by the minister on review with regards to the fees. So that is in the pipeline, but we will definitely proceed to engage. And even if we have to approach the president to facilitate this engagement with the minister, we'll do that as well. But we really need to see the transport sector or the issues in the transport sector start to change, and government's perspective about civil society also to start changing. We are all here to work for a better South Africa, and let's take hands and let's do that together.
Well, thank you very much for that, Andrea, and taking time out, talking to us this morning. We wish you all the best. Please take care.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure. Thank you.
Andrea van Heerden with the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, talking about the online driver's license renewals, but together with that, just so many issues as far as the transport sector is concerned. And as we alluded to earlier on, everything relating to the transport sector seems to be a mess, but of bigger concern is these are easy pickings. It's easy way to make money because people need to renew their driver's licenses. People need to fill their cars up with fuel, and everything seems to be a mess. And as I mentioned, easy pickings and easy way to generate revenue as far as the government is concerned. The time is just gone 9:28 a.m. We're going to go for a break. We'll be back.